The Pinball Network is online. Launching
Triple Drain Pinball Podcast.
All right. Well, welcome. Welcome to a kind of a strange little unique mini episode we got going on here. If you're watching video, you're going to see some faces you've never seen on here before. We got a full house today. We got 5 people here. But yeah, we have some exciting news. Travis Murie is expecting his 5th child. His 5th child, everybody. How exciting. Oh, yes. No.
No. That ship has sailed a long time ago. 4 is enough. I love him to death, but 4 is enough.
No, but we have 2 guests on today. We have Andy Bagwell and Penni Epstein. They reached out to us and said they have some very exciting news that they want to announce. So really, I'm just going to step back and I'm going to give you guys the floor. So go for it.
Penni, it's all you.
All right. So yeah, we are beyond excited to announce the comeback of the Papa World Championships. This hasn't been around, I think we said, since 2017. So this would be Papa 21, and it has a new twist to it, which is going to be a memorial for Lyman F. Sheets, those of you who don't know, who unfortunately died by suicide January 19th of 2022. And this is kind of an amazing event for lots of reasons. One, bringing Papa back, which is like the most amazing tournament, I think, that there was. And it was also a huge event that Lyman really, really loved. And also combining this with honoring his memory is very important, along with bringing the awareness for suicide. And September is Suicide Awareness Month, and we thought this was the perfect time. And this event will be happening September 5th through 8th at Enterrium in Illinois.
Okay.
Boom.
So that's it. So we can click now. No. So that's awesome. So Papa previously, and just to let the listeners know, I asked a lot of questions before we started recording, because as the non-tournament person, I was just trying to wrap my head around what this actually means. So just short and sweet, you said the Papa organization, they own the Papa World Championship and they own Pinburg. Pinburg was just recently announced as coming back. Papa was also hosted out east, right? Papa was not in Chicago before, so that's a new thing here?
Absolutely correct.
Okay. And Enterrium's taking on that, so I'm assuming, Andy, that's falling into your lap. Is that correct?
That is falling directly into my lap. So.
Yeah. And how's that?
I'm stoked. I took over with my friend Ray Leedsky. We took over the Enterrium Pinball Super League monthly league from Josh Sharp. I don't know if you guys know him or not. A couple years back, and he approached me after we had the September tournament. Penni asked me if we would be interested in co-oping that for a Lyman Memorial tournament, and I was over the moon to do something like that. So we hosted it in September last year and had 110 people show up for it.
Oh, wow.
I think Penni, you said we raised over $15,000 for
$15,007.
Get that $7 in there.
Yeah.
I like the 007. Yes.
Yeah.
Penni actually approached me that night and said that, she was really happy with how things went. I agreed, and she said, would this be something you'd be interested in doing annually potentially? And I was like, of course. We have a tournament every month. We always have one in September. Obviously, we'd be stoked to do that. And then about a month later or so, Josh reached out to me and mentioned this and asked if I'd be interested in being a part of it, and I couldn't say yes fast enough. So. Enterrium, Schaumburg, Illinois. So we'll be having the full Pop World Championships there.
So you're saying last year you had basically this tournament, or the idea of this tournament, but you called it it was a Lyman F. Sheets Memorial Tournament at the time.
Yeah, we just used the monthly. We have a monthly tournament first Tuesday in local tournament at Enterrium, standard match play tournament, and my wife Ruth. We both volunteer at the Elgin Pads shelter each month, and she had the idea a couple years back to start doing a charity tournament every year for pads as well in November. Penni kind of came to this and stuff, and I guess because of that, asked me about having one for Lyman in the same kind of vein, so I was all too happy to do that.
So how did you I feel like we have a merger here of now you're merging this idea of a memorial tournament for linemen, but also the Papa World Tournament. How did that idea come to be? Or Penni, was this your brainchild of bringing in Papa into this?
Well, it was interesting. Andy, Josh Sharp and I were talking at the tournament and just saying how exciting this would be if we did it annually. And then Josh and I were talking and he's like, I wonder if Kevin would be interested in being a part of this. And we kind of scratched our heads and said, let's set up a call. So
and
we set
Kevin?
up Kevin Martin,
okay,
who is one of the presidents of the replay organization. So, and he was the one who ran everything, previously. Incredible guy, good friend, great pinball ambassador.
Awesome. No, that's awesome. That's really cool. This is it sounds like you got a good memorial / fundraising effort here and a very well run tournament that Andy's put on before, but then you're bringing in a big name with the Papa World Tournament name. So hopefully this will only grow it. Penni, I'm assuming you have more is there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to honor Lyman, which means the world to me, and I'm sure to everybody who he's touched through his games, code, software, and just being himself. But also to destigmatize the conversations around mental health and suicide awareness through the joy of competitive pinball. Mm-hmm. And I think we could all see it was a very difficult decision for me because Lyman was very shy to be candid about what had happened. Because initially I really didn't want to. I wanted to protect him still. Sorry, I might get upset. So hard to talk about.
No, it's you are great, and there's so many people in this hobby that love him and appreciate him and everything that he's done. So it is more than understood. And I know you'd shared the logo. We will share that picture. You pointed out it's a cool looking logo, but the thing that I didn't notice is the colors of the logo are specifically for suicide awareness. So hopefully, even just visually seeing something like that logo will for people that are aware of those colors, that there's an impact there, and that's awesome.
Thank you for noticing that. Yeah.
Yep.
So also in the logo, you could see once you see it, the colors are sort of meshed because we wanted to exactly what you're saying, the combination of the cause along with the pinball, and just making it sort of one cohesive thing. And after Lyman's passing, when I did announce what had happened, it brought up a huge dialogue on Pinside. And Pinside, which we all know how it is sometimes, kind of took a different turn. And people were being kind, people were being honest, people were talking about their personal problems. And I can't tell you how many people approached me and talked to me about some very touching things. And that's what we need. It's not anything to be ashamed of. Mental health is a serious thing. And we just want to, bring that awareness and help others.
Yeah. So I think you had mentioned before, so there is a fundraising aspect to this. And yes. I know last year you said it was right at $15,000, which is awesome. So I'm assuming the goal here is to
$15,007.
$7. Don't forget the 7. Sorry.
I have to speak. Travis knows exactly what I'm going to say. So
yes. So
and that was a combination of what we raised on site at Pinball Super League. We also had two different bells and chimes events, and we also had a Facebook fundraiser.
Awesome.
So, I have a good memory of that from last year. Penni was talking to me about it, and she got to 2,000. She's like, I got to 2,000. Should I increase it to 3? And I was like, double it. And she's like, double it? And I'm like, double it. Why not? And then she's like, should I? And I'm like, yes, 100%. She doubles it. It gets to 4. And she's like, should I go? I was like, double it again. And she's like, I can't double it again. And I'm like, don't stop. Keep doubling it until we run out of time. So
it was good encouragement.
That's awesome. So the goal then, let's do some quick math here, Travis. The goal next year would be what? $30,014? Is that are we doubling it? Are we doubling that?
Yeah, that sounds like the 2x multiplier, but why not go higher? Yeah. Why not go higher? Yeah.
That's awesome. So in regards to the tournament, this is where I really have no concept of what I'm talking about, but the tournament itself, what's unique to this tournament? Why is this? You said Lyman was a huge fan of this tournament. What's so great about the Papa World Tournament as a tournament itself?
Papa itself was always the best of the best. That's who showed up. That's who played. And it was elite competition. And the format was the card format. And many people may or may not know that. Let's say you have a bank of 20 games. You pick 6 of them, let's say, and you have to put your best scores on all 6 games to have one complete scorecard, that's great. And that's how you would get ranked. Andy will talk about this as well, but we're going to do a little twist to it for our tournament and some other exciting changes. But Papa was there weren't as many tournaments around when Papa first started. And as we were talking about earlier, the first Papa was in 1991. So that was a long time ago. And thinking about what we have now is so different from what we had then. So it was like the tournament. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Okay. Papa card. I know the Papa card is loved and hated by many. The idea of, I don't know. I've learned a lot of terminology on this podcast between a pump and dump card tournament.
You almost sound like you know what you're talking about by now. It's only taken about 4 years.
I know
but
Travis
you're
hates
there.
head to head. He doesn't like head to head. I think you just like 4 people all the time, right? You just don't do well one-on-one.
Yeah, it just depends. This format's my favorite format, though.
Why is that?
This by far, to me, it's the most balanced in terms of competitiveness. You have to put up your best games. And then if you make finals, you're going against other people that did the same exact thing. So there's like no easy way out at all. And that's what I love about it. It's a lot of fun.
It's the consistency factor, which, you need. And so you may have one great game on a card and then you're like, oh, but you could do it. That's
I think some people, if they're not super familiar with card, they may think it's harder, obviously, but maybe they don't realize just how hard it is. If you think about pinball, play 10 games of pinball or play 5 games of pinball on 5 different machines and see if you have a good game on all 5 of those. Only truly elite players can kind of have that kind of consistency level. You just get your one game in and you're done on that game. You don't have to play it anymore and it's out of your mind. You don't have to worry about it. With a card format, you have to strategically build your 5-game selection. You have to execute on those 5 games. And as Penny said, messing up one of those usually, in-disc is a good example with 40 people making playoffs. You pretty much, if you zero out one of your games, you're not going to make playoffs. It's not happening. You have to literally have 5. Tom has a question. What's your question, Tom?
No,
I know you don't have a question, Tom. So.
Yeah.
Tom is our elite player. Yeah, Tom is our elite player. We got him in just to round out the group here. So tell us about that experience, Tom. Do you like card format? Do you prefer that or no?
I do like it, yes, but it's very tough. I mean, it is not an easy format, as Andy was alluding to, but you just have to put it all together.
Yeah.
Going back, looking at in-disc from this last year, which is a card format, Zach McCarthy, who won the tournament, literally put in his ticket into the playoffs on the last day with only a couple hours left.
Yep.
So that just shows you how hard it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Chicago's an awesome choice, a fantastic choice for a tournament like this. Obviously, it's at least here in North America, it's incredibly accessible for basically anybody. And even outside of that, I mean, Chicago is a great place to be able to fly in and out of, to travel to. But this is really cool. This is really cool. This is really exciting. I'm assuming it'll be streamed. Which I don't.
We're trying to find somebody. I don't know if we can.
There's somebody we heard of.
If anybody wants to apply, they can call my cell.
See if we can Fox City's streaming rental is a new thing, right? Where people are you just deliver the equipment, set it all up, and don't do anything. Isn't that the goal?
We pay him in boneless wings at Enterrium. So
they are really good.
Awesome. Well, I know both Penny and Andy, you said you had some notes that you took. If it's not obvious, we kind of wing this podcast, so we don't do notes, but you do. So if there's anything else on your notes that you wanna hit, I mean, this is the time.
Yeah, I mean, I can jump in about Enterrium and stuff, which, as Joel said, Chicago is extremely accessible. Enterrium's 20 minutes from O'Hare Airport in Chicago, Illinois. So I am personally really excited to see a major in the Midwest. Pinball majors, there's 5. You've got EPC in Europe. You've got Pinburg, which is coming back, which is also amazing, onto the East Coast. You've got in-disc on the West Coast. You have the IFPA World Championships, which rotate around, obviously, every year. So we had never had one, to my knowledge, in the Midwest before. So I'm pretty stoked to be able to have, 3 of them spread across the U.S. like this. Obviously, I'm biased, but I could not be more excited to be hosting it at Enterrium. If you're not familiar with Enterrium, it is a massive location in the Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg, Illinois, that it's up to about 31 pinball machines now. We're going to be adding a bunch more for this, obviously. I host the monthly tournament there with my friend Ray Leetsky. First Tuesday every month, we have a monthly tournament that, because of the general manager, Michael Benjamin, bringing in more machines, we've grown from about 7 games and 10 to 15 players a month to 30 plus games, and somewhere between 70 to 90 players show up every month for my local tournament, which
Awesome.
I did some digging on. I could not find another local monthly that had that kind of player turnout on a consistent basis. So if somebody finds it, they're more than welcome to challenge me. But I think it's the largest local monthly that, has ever existed in this kind of consistent manner. So Michael is amazing. He's really supportive of the pinball community. Enterrium has a full-service bar, restaurant with an actual chef in-house. Actually has really good food if you guys haven't eaten there. Tom can attest. The food's very good. It's not your standard arcade fare. They have your typical bar snacks and stuff too, if that's what you want.
And really nice bartenders.
Yes.
Amazing bartenders. Dawn, Berto, Giselle, so many of the staff there are really, really, really supportive and friendly as well. They actually have fantastic sushi. My wife's very picky about sushi, but she swears by their sushi, like no joke. She loves it.
It's legit, Joel.
I'm not. You would be like, "Oh, really? Arcade mall sushi?" Like, I know everybody's always like eye roll, but I'm like, just try it, and they're like, "That's actually really good sushi," and I'm like, "I know." So, Benji is shorthand for Michael Benjamin. He's actually going to be giving us the entire left side of the restaurant. If you've been there when you come up the stairs, where the bowling alley is, all the ballrooms. We're going to have all that stuff reserved for us Thursday through Sunday, the entire weekend. So we've kind of got a floor plan set up already for the 3 main areas. Obviously, we're going to have, the main tournament. We're going to have a classics tournament. We're going to have a women's tournament, all with separate sets of machines. So, yeah, I really couldn't be more excited to be able to put something along like this at Enterrium because of all the work Benji's done to grow this community. So I think it's I said it on a Facebook post recently. He's created a world-class pinball facility capable of hosting world-class tournaments, and that's what I hope to do with this. So, and
also what you've done with Pinball Super League. So
yeah.
I was there when it was like 6 people playing.
So was I. So I actually saw a memory post from Josh like 5 years ago or something on the Super League group that he mentioned that they only had 4 people show up, and that he was looking for feedback, on how to what they could kind of do to fix this. So it's crazy to think back because this actually. Pinball Super League is how I got into competitive pinball. My wife noticed the league sticker on there saying that I could submit a score for the selfie league back then, 5 years ago or whatever. And I was like, I'm not good enough for any of that stuff. There's no way I could play at a tournament or anything. She's like, it says you can submit the score right now. And I'm like, really? I can submit the 500 million on atoms that I just got, like to the league, the selfie? Maybe that's a good score. So, I submitted that. I came the next day. I met Vince Giannini, local player, who took me out to the local ORD club for their tournament. I met everybody in the Chicago pinball community, and I don't know, the rest is history, I guess, as far as my involvement in the competitive pinball scene. So
that's awesome. So, so the takeaway that I'm hearing is if you want a challenging but really fun tournament to play in, and you want to eat sushi, this is it. This is the tournament.
Joel, the great thing about Enterrium, I've been there a couple of times now, and it's a fantastic spot. And if you're listening to this and you haven't been there before, I would highly recommend going, because not just the place itself is awesome, but the fact that it's attached to a mall that has other things that you can do if you bring the family. It has restaurants, it has movie theaters. So there's other things that you can do if you need a break, or if you need a reason like I do to bring my wife and apparently my 5 kids I have now, according to Joel, with me. But yeah, there's so much to do. And plus, I can't say enough good things about the Chicago pinball community. Everybody there is great. Lots of nice people, fantastic. And just the fact that this is going to be for not just a world championship, but I think even more important for the what Lyman represented, and just the way that everything's going about it and the people that are involved in this. I think it's going to lead to something very special that's going to be here for years to come. And to me, that's really exciting. So I would encourage anybody out there in the pinball community to highly to look at this event and very much consider going to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on the Lyman aspect, one of my great regrets is I didn't really get to know him very well before he passed. And one of the most interesting things I was kind of taught in my pinball knowledge as I grew up, as I kind of got used to this scene, because I played pinball all the time as a kid in college, but I never was very good for the most part. And I also knew nothing about the history of pinball. Early on when I was playing, I heard a friend of mine say, "Thanks, Lyman," whenever something happened to him in the game. And I'm like, why did you say that? And he's like, oh, because Lyman's known for coding things into games that kind of make you feel like you're cheating the game or stealing something from the game. Attack from Mars, for example, after your multi-ball finishes, you still have a good 5 or 6 seconds to shoot jackpots that aren't even lit anymore. You can actually light the super jackpot, when you already, your brain, you think that like you tricked the game because it doesn't look like you can collect the thing. He was also known for doing it with ball saves. The ball save light turns off, but for a good 4 or 5 seconds afterwards, you drain the ball, you still get the ball save back, which it's extremely clever, but it's also very simple. He just simply made it last longer than it flashes, but it tricks the player's mind into thinking that they stole something, that little miniature victory you got against the machine. So I think it's such a brilliant small idea that I've heard so many people say thanks Lyman whenever something good happens for them. I hear people say it when it's not even Lyman's game. It's a common phrase in pinball to say thanks Lyman when something happens, that you don't expect to in pinball.
That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. I only have one Lyman game, and it's this, and it's not his particular code isn't finished. It's the Cactus Canyon behind me, and I can't wait for that. But it is really cool seeing his initials pop up, and more games now having code champion and stuff. So I unfortunately never had the opportunity to meet him, but it's amazing the games and what he's left here for us to play and enjoy, and so much joy that he's shared with the entire community. But yeah, Penny, if there's anything else you want to share, or if you can wrap this up for us, go for it.
Yeah, the only other thing I'd say, come join us. I think everybody would have a really great time. You're going to play pinball. It's for a good cause. And just to talk about the causes real fast, we're looking at the 988 Suicide Prevention Hotline, which is run by Vibrant Health, which is accessible 24 hours a day, and also NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Those are probably the two causes that we'll be working with. So, and I think it'd be great.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
I will add one thing, which I'm most excited about as a tournament director. I use the services of a certain math wizard in pinball, Mr. Bowen, to create the main playoff field for Papa 21 is going to be the A division will be 72 players. Yeah, Travis. So,
and if you're listening, the eyeballs got really big.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance, Tom. As I've grown in the pinball community from a tournament director perspective over the last couple of years, I have developed this burning passion for player incentive. I am obsessed with finding ways to incentivize both the best players and the newest players to the field. A lot of my events, I have awards for people of IFPA rank or lower. I like to just have reasons that everybody can kind of be excited about playing pinball, even if you're not maybe top 4 or top 10 or something. So, there's going to be a B division as well. 73 through 80 will be in the B division with plaques and payouts for those as well. But the main field's going to be 72 people. There's going to be 3 buys. If I have my math right, I believe it's 1 through 4 will get 3 buys. 5 through 16, I believe, will get. I'll have to check. I know that there's 3 buys, so I've got my sheet up in front of me. But I'm excited to kind of maybe engage a part of the player base maybe that doesn't always get a chance to make playoffs. I've not heard of a tournament having this large of a playoff field. Maybe it'll be a disaster, but I'm really excited to try the experiment out and see how it goes.
It won't be a disaster.
So there'll be 12 groups in the first round. So Maine's going to pay out top 40, which is going to be second round and onward. So for that first round, you're going to see seeds 25 through 72, battling, and it's going to be group elimination format, Papa scoring, 3-game, not banks, but it'll be game choice, very similar to Indisc. I want to see something kind of like March Madness get created, where you have a Cinderella story, you have a dark horse team that shows up, you have a Georgetown or something that storms through the field as an 11 seed or a 13 seed or something, or in this case, a 50 seed or a 60 seed, because there's a lot of amazing pinball players out there that are not necessarily potentially highly ranked in the IFPA. So I want to create a situation where maybe, more local scenes get fired up and engaged to see players that maybe not everybody knows about show up on this world stage, because from all those groups, 2 people are going to advance from every group. I think you're not going to see the truly elites until the second or third round kind of come into the mix. So I hope this is a way to kind of create a situation where more people are excited about putting cards in, versus feeling like you don't have a chance maybe to make playoffs.
Sure.
And
That's awesome.
you already mentioned, right, that we're going to have main, classics, and women's, just to make sure. So
Penny mentioned the wrinkle. So the wrinkle kind of is that classics is going to be unlimited herb. Everything else will be card. Women's and main's going to be card. I like herb a little more. It's kind of relaxing, so I kind of pushed a little bit to have compromise of some card and some herb, and I think it will be fun
herb
to kind
format.
of build it. Herb format, yes. I'm not opposed to that either, obviously, but
I was like, just to,
we're in Illinois, so FYI.
So
Come visit.
just to wrap it all up, your tickets go on sale when is this?
We're still working on getting like the ticket portion set up, so there's not going to be any cap on players. I'm not sure of the exact timeline. I think Josh at the IFPA is probably going to be getting something together with this as far as purchasing tickets and stuff. It's going to be pretty similar to Indisc, I feel like, as far as buying goes. Also, I guess the biggest thing, Penny, too, is I need volunteers. I don't know if I said that loud enough, but I've been keeping this secret for a while, and the thing I'm most excited about is to start going as hard as I can on volunteers. Someone from Indisc was kind enough to share their volunteer list with me. It's over 100 people that they had volunteer for Indisc, which is amazing and fantastic. So this does not happen without the community's help. I told Penny a couple days ago, a lot of people thank me for running tournaments and stuff locally. I don't really like to get a lot of praise. I'm not really my thing. I'll cash all that in now. If all those people come out and volunteer, score keep, we're going to need a lot of help for something of this size.
So we'll have 110 people right off the bat.
No, we're going to have 150 people right off the bat. So
awesome.
Double it.
Double it.
So where can people contact you, Andy, if they want to volunteer?
Penny, I think you said you were going to set up an email possibly to reach out to us at.
Potentially.
They can also reach out to me directly on Facebook Messenger. You're free to ask Tom how to get a hold of me. He'll give you my cell phone. I don't care how you get a hold of me. The Pinball Super League group on Facebook is a group that was created a long time ago for sharing out tournaments around the Chicago area and stuff. You're welcome to join that. I'll be announcing a bunch of stuff on there on my personal Facebook page, putting out the call for volunteers. I plan on getting like a sign-up sheet set up. Obviously, September 5th through 9th, we're a ways out still. So, 7 months to go pretty much roughly until we're going to be doing this thing. But I'm going to be pushing hard on getting volunteers. So.
And we'll also be reaching out to people for sponsorship as well. So that's something that we're working on too. We're going to be doing raffles, prizes, things. We're going to make this the best experience possible for all who attend.
Awesome. Okay. So everybody mark your calendars. It was September, you said 5th through 9th. Is that right?
Through 8th.
Through 8th. Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
Well, stay an extra day,
I'm not going until Monday, so.
I'm like double checking my 8th
that
is
month
Sunday.
actually, our warm-up tournament, or our monthly tournament for Enterrium is the 3rd, that Tuesday. So if you want to come out even earlier, join that. And
and it's great because, like we said, September is National Suicide Awareness Month. September 10th is National Suicide Prevention Day. And of course, they needed the 9th. September 8th or 14th is Suicide Prevention Week. So we tried to tack on as closely as we could to that date as well. So lots of good things happening.
Well, that's awesome. Well, that's really exciting. Thanks for reaching out to us. I'm happy that we could be a part of announcing this, and this is sounding like it could be a ton of fun, and I have no doubt Lyman would thoroughly have enjoyed this, and this is an awesome cause and sounds like an awesome tournament. So I know I'm looking forward to it.
I appreciate you guys having us on. So.
Yeah, a huge thank you from the organizers, which is the Replay organization, Andy, myself, and Josh. And we really appreciate you guys.
Perfect.
I joked earlier, but just in case it's not super clear, Tom is streaming this at Fox Cities Pinball. So like and subscribe to Tom's stream, please. So he is still streaming next year whenever we get to this point. So
he'll be here. He loves it. He can't step away from streaming. He's hooked. But it's tradition. We always let Tom close the show. So Tom, you get the last words.
Let's go, Papa.